The spinning wheel of death. There we go. Okay, I think it's working.
Yes.
Oh, good grief. I'm going to check over here. Oh, it popped up on online on YouTube. Oh, apparently we're live in the other one too.
Perfect.
Oh, 20. Yeah, the countdown's working. Oh, 20. Yeah, the countdown's working. Oh,
No reverb.
there. I think I got it turned off.
There we go.
Is that
And
good?
we are live.
All right, let me do my intro. Okay, welcome to the Designer and the Dyer. Today we're talking about crafting mojo. How do you lose it and how do you get it back? So grab a beverage
Oh,
and let's talk fiber. Hi,
yes.
Lea-Ann.
Hello, Lauren. How are you?
Not bad. How are you?
Fine. We haven't got to see each other all week.
No, it's been a busy one.
Oh, no. Actually, it's been a progressive one over there on Sweet Yarns, on the Sweet Yarnies group. It is
Yeah,
chicken mania.
and it's all your fault.
Oh, my.
Okay, well, talk about your chicken then.
My chicken. Yes. You know what? When something wonderful comes along, and you do it, and it is so remarkable when everybody's like around you sees exactly what you saw.
Nope.
So our for those that may be joining us for the first time, I am Lea-Ann the Dyer, and this is Lauren the designer. And last week I decided to start what was called an emotional support chicken.
Yeah.
And there's my chicken.
He's so cute.
Isn't that fantastic? Like,
Yes.
just it is amazing, amazing. So, sad movies no more.
Oh.
Bad day at work, got your chicken. Like,
If
oh
it's
yeah,
really bad, you could throw it.
yes, yes, you could. But this has been an amazing pattern. And as I said, we have chicken mania going on over at the Sweet Yarnies group.
Yes.
So many chickens being done, all different colors.
Yeah.
It's been amazing. Now, again, Sweet Yarnies is part of Lauren's yarn shop, which is Sweet Yarn. So take it away. Tell them about what's going on over there.
Well, we just finished our yarn tastings last week. And now we're getting ready for our next knit along. Well, make along. So
Make
we're
along.
doing a hot weather make along.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get people to do tops and things like that for when it's warm out, because that's coming sooner than we think.
Isn't it?
So pardon?
Isn't it?
Yeah. Well, even like today, I went out and it's quite nice out,
Oh, yes.
and it's supposed to be in the pluses all next week. Down south, like southern Ontario, it's even supposed to hit 20s.
Cool. That's nice.
So exciting news! I'm getting my car back out next week.
Is your car coming out next week?
Yeah.
Well, that is exciting news.
No more
Yay.
sharing the truck. Well, at least that's the plan. We'll see what
Okay.
Dan said today. So yeah. Anyway, so we're doing a knit along
Mm-hmm.
or make along starting mid March and going
Mm-hmm.
until about mid May. Uh, just to work on something where this spring summer.
Yes. Yes.
So I actually do have a discount offer right now for those who want to join in our make along. You can get 15% off your order as long as it's paid in full before closing on Saturday. So the store's open till 4 o'clock Saturday, and any orders that are coming in either online or in person until then will get 15% off.
And there you go. It's running across the banner right below us there.
Yep.
The Sweet Yarns website.
So we're looking at, like all the spring, summer yarns, ones that have cotton in them. There's some absolutely fabulous ones to choose from. And I'm sending the Berroco order in on the following Tuesday. So that's why you can still join in later, but if you want to get the discount and get your yarn in on time to start with us, then it'll be, before Saturday.
I know. I saw little snippets of your taste testing live for the broad yarns, and they were gorgeous. Just
they are
gorgeous. So what
I love a
the
lot of them. I picked Tilly though.
Okay.
It's a DK weight, and I'm going to do actually the Love Note by Tin Can Knits. I'm going to do that one. I'd like a summer version of that. So it doesn't have to be a Berroco pattern, and it doesn't need to be one of their new yarns because they have quite a few good summer like cotton yarn mixes.
Right.
But it will be Berroco orders that are getting the discount.
I keep moving around. The chair's not very comfortable in the cabana.
Same. I have a folding chair.
Oh, me too. Me too. And it's always so I get confused on where to look because, with an iPad, the camera is over there. So, trying not to always look that way. But that seems to be where
that's why, so today I'm actually doing this from my computer, the laptop. But that's why when I do it on my phone, I like having the phone going up and down because then the camera's right at the top. And so when you're looking at the screen, you're looking in the right direction.
Yeah.
That's why when you said, "Oh, let's go sideways," I'm like, I can't do it. Then I really don't know where to look.
There you go. Oh my goodness. So what have you been working on this week?
Well, we're wrapping up our Home Sweet Home make along.
Okay.
And so I've been trying to finish up Aiden's pillow. Oh, there it is. It's in one of my essential totes from Pine and Pearl. It says procrastinating.
Right.
When you have to do a million things, but ignore them all and knit instead.
Oh.
That would be me. Did I get the shower cleaned yet today? No.
No.
I'd rather do some knitting. So I am doing 24 by 24 pillows for both of my kids, and I casted on the one for Aiden in January the 1st, and I am literally almost done.
Oh my goodness.
So it's the work sock look with the gray and then the white and then a stripe color, and so I just am finishing up the white.
Oh my goodness.
I have about 16 rows to go around. Yeah.
I don't know.
And then bind it off and all that fun.
We will get that Facebook thing linked. I promise you. I just did not send out the code properly, but we will. And then our Facebook users will be able to certainly let us see who they are. So in the meantime, if you are on...
actually, I looked and it was Lise. Lise has commented twice now.
Oh, okay. Oh, she must
went over on Facebook, and now
there you go. There you go. Well, it's always wonderful to have Lise Thomas in the house. Yes,
for sure. What have you been working on?
Well, it took me let me see a couple days to do the emotional support chicken. That is one of the most coolest knits. If you, and I know our topic today is going to be on losing your knitting mojo and ways to get it back. And I have to honestly say, if you are in that kind of a funk, when you get into garments and doing the same thing, especially after Christmas when we've done a whole bunch of gift knits, right? Pick up the emotional support chicken. Because not only, and everyone can attest to this, is not only can you find fun yarns and fun combinations, but because it is those short rows with just the wrap and turn, it is a hoot to do. It goes quick and you're always going on for the next. So therefore, there were some nights where I didn't want to go to sleep. I just wanted to keep working on it. It was
so we are going to be doing the emotional support chicken for March. as a
Yes.
knit-along. I'm going to start one. I've got my yarn picked. I'm going to take it to the store and wind it up this week, and have it casted on for next week. But I picked this. It's a multicolored yarn.
That's
It's
beautiful.
actually hand spun by a friend of mine.
Nice. That makes it so much more personable.
Yeah, and it should be enough. And then I'm going to pair it with this
Oh, that is
called
nice.
Elysian. It's a worsted weight as well.
Right.
It was a sample ball I had kicking around, so I'm going to pair those together
That is
for my
fantastic.
chicken and find some more. I just need a little for the beak and the other parts, but I'm sure I have scraps somewhere that'll do those.
Well, it's like what a great project to be able to go through your stash and get rid of little bobs and pieces that, a lot of self-striping yarn that you aren't using. I mean, it's just
Or even just leftovers.
exactly. Now I brought out back in, I think it was 2010.
Mm-hmm.
Bernat had Mosaic and they had it in, I think it was 8 colorways. And I had all of them. I had 12 skeins of each. And I'm
Yep.
saving it for a rainy day. Now I've given like 12 skeins to different people and I only kept 2 sets of 12. And that's what I used. So it was Bernat Mosaic. This is old.
Mm-hmm.
And I used Into the Woods for the body. So
Mm-hmm.
that's Into the Woods. And then all my striping was called Medusa. So it was
Very nice.
oranges and these reds and yellows. And it just, I'm so thrilled. I'm so
I
thrilled.
think once you've done one, you could play around with your colors and use leftovers and things like that too. Once you
Almost,
have the understanding of the shape and how it's constructed.
almost certainly. But, also take it down to fingering, take it down to DK. You can make
Yeah.
them in different sizes. Or,
Yeah. So if you're going to change the size, you want to change your needles. And
yes.
so you're going to go down a couple sizes than what the yarn recommends. And that's how because you want tight stitches.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if you're
Yeah.
going to do, say, a DK weight, I would use a 3.5 millimeter
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
around there so that it's a little tighter. And then fingering weight, you're definitely going to want to do at least 2.75, maybe smaller.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget, you could put 2 strands together.
Yes, you can.
Or you can do a super huge chicken and do like a chunky weight or a bulky.
Oh, wouldn't that be amazing?
Yes.
I want a big chicken.
Actually, I'm trying to think. Somebody planned to do a bigger one.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who it was. It might have been Lori. There was a few who were in last week and picked up yarn for chickens, and a lot have already been started or finished, but
Oh,
with plans to do more. And before I forget, there is a crochet version as well.
yes. So our crochet.
And somebody else wanted to do eggs.
Yes, I was just going to say that. We did have someone talking about doing some eggs.
Yes.
That would be like, yeah.
So if you go to our Ravelry group, I started a thread in there.
Oh,
Um,
you're on the ball.
and what?
You're on the ball today.
I know. Well, I did it last week, I guess.
Oh,
Yes, we have a Ravelry group there. I linked both the knitting and crochet versions of the emotional support chicken. And I'm gonna go hunting for egg ones and see if I can link some free ones, or at least some patterns of eggs in there too.
nice. Nice.
Yeah. And then if you are a lot on Ravelry, you can always post in there and
Yeah.
share what you're working on the emotional support chickens, color choices and fun stuff like that. I know a few ladies picked up some Anthem. One of the chickens is going to be fluorescent.
I
Everything.
know. I I saw that was our girl Lori Armstrong, and it is just like absolutely amazing, bright. Woo.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I think it's a great idea.
Oh, no doubt.
I'm
That's
just going to write myself a note to look for egg patterns.
looking for egg patterns.
Yes.
So, what am I working on?
Yeah, now that your chicken's done.
Yeah, no, I got lots that I could be working on, but obviously this morning I was up at 3:30 doing a whole bunch of designs for our
Mhm.
StreamYard for our live stream.
Yeah, and then we had technical issues.
Did everyone like my countdown? I made that.
I thought it was cute.
Like, I was so impressed with myself. Um, I was having a grand old time. Lots
Yeah.
of tea, lots of caffeine this morning. Um, I am still on my heavy work socks from the Briggs and Little pattern with the Briggs and Little Tuffy.
Hmm.
The worsted weight, very primitive Canadian sheep wool. Briggs and Little have been servicing our Easterners for years and years and years. So a lot of, I think, isn't it, what's the name of that one pattern book? Saltwater? Is it Saltwater?
There's a whole collection of those now. I think it started with saltwater mittens,
Right.
and they have accessories and socks, and I can't remember if there's any other ones.
Yes.
You talk, I'll look.
I'll talk. So those knits are all from Newfoundland or Easterners. So you're looking at Newfoundland, PEI, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick. And that is who Briggs and Little, I mean, don't get me wrong, they service all across Canada, but that has been their staple yarn for, I don't know when that mill opened.
Okay, so I have the list. I googled.
She
So
Googled,
there's saltwater classics,
right?
saltwater mittens, saltwater gifts, saltwater socks.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it. So there's a few now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And they are beautiful. Beautiful
Yeah,
patterns.
if you haven't seen them before, it started off with the saltwater mittens. Let's see if I can just pull up the picture. Hold on. Oops.
Well, I'm on my heel turn, and
Oh, yay!
then it's off to the end, and that will be the first coffee down socks I have done in, I don't know, over 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Yes, but I'm going to immediately cast on another set because, I never thought I would like worsted weight wool socks, but I think I've changed my mind. There we go.
Saltwater mittens. Yeah, except it's blowing out, unfortunately. Whoop. Yeah.
There you go.
I will link stuff for that in the show notes that I get done when I get them done later. I can usually get them done Tuesday. Well, I'll try for earlier, but Tuesday for sure.
I think I have one of them in a PDF file, but other than that, not, which is silly. I have not added them into my library yet.
Okay.
But yeah, maybe I will. Another book. What the heck, right?
Yeah.
Definitely. So that's it. That's all that I'm working on. Yeah. I mean, I have a lot that I've got to pull up and cast on. So as soon as these are off, will be my concentration probably tonight.
Okay.
And I don't know what I'm picking up tomorrow. Oh, yes. That was good news. So I'm such a smarty pants.
Okay, I did post a link in the bariatric knitter group.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
So if you click on that, it just allows StreamYard permission to use your name and Facebook image, so we can see who's commenting.
Yes.
So it's in on the bariatric knitter group.
Awesome. Thank you for doing that. I ran a test schedule this morning. That's why everyone saw it on the bariatric knitter group, was because me testing to see if it would schedule. And it was supposed to put that link up, but it didn't. And I couldn't get it to unschedule. So that's why I just, here when we got in, canceled that stream, started, canceled it, and then just quickly reopened a new one. So sorry.
We'll get all this worked out eventually.
Yes, we will.
Well, it's fun to learn all the new technology, but it also takes some work. Like it doesn't happen overnight, that's for sure.
Yes, and this is our second time using StreamYard, right?
Third.
Is that our third already?
Third live.
Oh my gosh, are you telling me we've been consistent 3 weeks in a row?
Yes, look at us go.
Oh my goodness. That is something to go out for lunch for.
Yeah, no doubt, eh? Okay, but before I forget, I should mention, so last week I had technology issues.
Hmm. Oh, that's
Um, yeah, so what happened was we have Wi-Fi issues in our house. If someone turns on the microwave, our Wi-Fi stops working properly. So that's what happened at the end of the live last week. My husband came in to heat up water for his tea in the microwave, and yeah, I lost internet connection.
she was not happy.
No, so hopefully this week it won't happen, but we'll have to. And oh, and then my Wi-Fi wasn't great last week neither because it was family day and everyone was home using the Wi-Fi. Oh, stop barking, Cam.
Yeah, yeah.
So hopefully this week we won't have any issues, but
I know, 'cause you
we'll be
kind
sure to
of
be off in
abandoned me.
time.
Well, you abandoned me, and I don't, because I'm not the one that does the introductions and the closing, right? And you
Yeah.
abandoned me, and I didn't know what to say, so I
Well,
flubbed
you
it.
did fine. I went back and watched it. You did really good.
Thank
But I
you.
felt bad. I'm like, oh no, and I knew exactly what went wrong. And I'm like, I
Oh
can't even
no.
tell you.
Oh yeah, that's right too. Oh
I was
no.
hoping it would pop back on, but it didn't.
Right. Right. Well, our
Oh,
new setup is looking good, so I'm happy.
yeah.
And yes, this is our own wallpapers. So I've got more on the go. But
Yeah.
this is kind of my thing. Like Lauren is so much better at words than I am. And putting that stuff, I love graphics. I love doing graphics. I love the technical part of it. So this has just been a partnership of all partnerships. I don't have to talk. I don't have to do emails. I'm happy.
No, yeah. Lucky you.
Mhm. Exactly.
We just
Exactly.
share our jobs. That's all. Share the work.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. I got out of the shower. I didn't get a shower until a little bit later. So I'm still a little bit wet and damp. And
Yeah.
yeah. So what was I going to say?
I don't know.
Trying to
Is
think
there
of
anything else
anything.
we had to mention before we get going on stuff?
I do not think so. I think, yeah, I think
Should we
we've
dive
done,
in then?
I think so. So today's topic, we're running across the bottom there.
Yeah.
Okay, is on your knitting mojo, losing your knitting mojo. So, we're going to talk about the symptoms, the causes, and of course, the cure. Because, it's okay to have all the symptoms, but you know what? You have to have a good reason to be able to pull yourself out of it. So, we are going to start right here. So,
Woo!
you've lost your fiber mojo. The symptoms, the causes, and the cures. So, what do you think would be one of the causes, or no, the symptoms? What would be a symptom of losing your mojo?
You want me to answer?
Yes.
Well, I guess just not wanting to craft, like knit, crochet. Not every time you go to pick something up, it's kind of like, well, I don't really feel like working on this or that.
Yes. So let's start with one question for
Okay.
our viewers. So our question is, how often do you knit or crochet? Do you knit daily, a day or two each week, or randomly when the mood strikes? Because we can't ascertain what the symptoms are until we know what type of knitter are you. If you are a daily knitter and suddenly
Oh, I lost Leanne for
anybody,
a second there.
I lost you.
Yeah,
Oh,
you disappeared for a second.
okay. So which one? Let us know.
Well, okay, well, you start. What are you? Do you craft daily?
Yes, I do. I do. Some
Is that just for the fun of it?
um that's a good question. Do I craft daily for the fun of it? No, I do it daily for my sanity.
Oh, well, yeah, that's Yeah, that's a good reason.
I think that, when life gets hectic, sometimes I suffer with anxiety. And I think sometimes when you suffer with anxiety, you have to have things in place that are just going to kind of calm you down to stop your brain working as ferociously as it could be when you're full of anxiety, because thoughts come into your head and sometimes your head is overreacting. So I find for me, whether I'm knitting, crocheting, you know, what did I do last week? I covered my sewing stool with a faux blanket, fur blanket. But things
Mhm.
like that actually center me so that I can kind of calm down, and I use that to keep myself on point.
Right.
You're a daily knitter too.
Yeah, but part of that is because it's my job.
Okay, true, true, true.
Well, yeah, but even before that, I would say I was pretty much a daily knitter. Most of my life, anyways.
Well, and that's where let's just go to here. I have to get used to this. Okay, let's go to this fun fact.
Okay.
Fun fact. Where are you? There it is at the bottom there. So, if you want to work off that piece of chocolate you slipped into your mouth at break time, knit for 2 hours and burn 220 calories. So,
Holy
like,
crap.
for every 30 minutes, knitting or crocheting burns 55 calories. So say goodbye, French fries.
Okay, so that's how I can stay slim then, is just keep knitting.
Just keep knitting. So that's a reason to do it daily. If you're gonna hit up McDonald's to get those French fries, right? If they're like,
Actually, I do every once in a while. I get a craving for McDonald's fries.
I know,
And so on my way home on a Thursday night after doing the Facebook Live virtual knit night at the store, I'll
right?
stop at I'll drive through McDonald's and just get fries, and I eat them all the way home.
Oh, oh my goodness. Okay, just the
Only
fries.
once in a while.
Okay, that's good. And
Like
then
I
you
would
go
say
home.
a couple times a year I do that. Just yeah, have a craving for it, and yeah, and if they're all gone by the time I get home, all the kids.
Well, then you don't have to share them.
That's right.
Exactly. Exactly. The joys of motherhood when you don't have to share them and you've got to sneak outside.
I can just close the door to my office.
And no. My daughter, when she was young and I used to hide the Easter candy, she used to
Yeah,
come, be like 4 years old, and she'd go, Mom, I can smell it.
how cute.
And she would always find where it was hidden. Ah, kids. Oh, bless them. Hmm.
That's funny.
So I do have something before we get right into this that I did forget to say is
Okay,
remind me
wait. We have an answer.
we have an answer. Okay, bring that up. Lise.
Yes, I did. Lee says I usually craft daily, and if not, then every couple days.
So there you go. Yes. Yay, Lise.
Yeah, I would say I craft all the time too.
Yeah. So anyone just like I mean there are a lot of people that do just randomly knit when the mood strikes. They see a
Yeah.
pattern, they knit it, and then they may not pick it up again for, another month or 2 months. I don't think that is what we would call losing the knitting mojo, because there are some people that are just like that. They knit what they want and then they put it down. They're good for a little while. So,
Yeah, only when they have a specific project in mind do they want to
yes,
work
yes.
with. Yeah.
So, how about anyone that kind of books in their time? Like, do they have planned evenings and you're just not doing that? Like, we talk about like routines, like our daily routines. You get up in the
Mhm.
morning, you get ready, you go to work, you drive to work, you have, break, lunch. That is there anyone that schedules their knitting in on a routine?
I know I have some customers that do.
They do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, one lady was in on Thursday to get some help, and she was saying that she had started knitting in the morning.
Oh, okay.
She's
Right.
retired, and she finds that that's a nice quiet time around the house. So she gets up and has her coffee, and then sits with her knitting for a little while in the morning.
That's a good, I like that. I'm an
That's a
early
nice
morning.
way to start the day.
Yes. And then if it goes to crap after that, you can come home and knit the stress off, right?
Yeah.
Definitely. So,
But I think it depends on your family life too. Like if you're, like I know when my kids were little, I wouldn't necessarily get much crafting done during the day, but when they went to bed at night, I definitely got an hour or two in then.
yes, and that will get into our causes, the causes of losing your knit mojo. So, from I never, when you brought this topic up, I thought you were a little bit on the crazy side because
Yeah.
I was going, okay, Lauren, we have tons of topics that we could be talking about, but knitting mojo or crochet mojo, I was like, so immediately I looked up mojo, which meant witchcraft, and I was like, okay, so we've got some knitting witchcraft, and I thought, okay, where are we going to go with this? And then I realized that, the symptoms of this have a lot to do with hecticness in your life. So when you
Mhm.
start putting them down and not scheduling time or not making time to do your crafting, and we can go into any crafting. There are people who are scrapbookers. There are people who do those gem prints.
Yeah.
When you have a lot in knitters and crocheters, we all tend to cast things on. So
Hmm.
if a lot is casted on and it's not being worked, then you have a symptom. That is a symptom that you are going
Yeah.
to the loss of your knit or crochet mojo. So let's talk about then. Let me just bring that up.
This
Is
one. Okay.
oh yeah, I missed one. Okay, the causes. Yes. Have you ever lost your knitting mojo for a period of time, and what brought you back to picking up the needles or hooks again? Well, let's talk about the causes of why that would happen.
Well, one for sure that you kind of hinted at would be a change in routine.
Yes.
Like honestly, as a yarn shop owner, I would say a lot of people go gung ho in the fall,
Hmm.
and then Christmas time it gets busy, and they get out of their routine because of all a lot of people go on holidays or have holidays and breaks, and
Yes.
they get and then they don't get back into all their routines again after Christmas.
Hmm.
And that's one of the things that I see drops off after Christmas usually.
Yes. But when we go back, like since COVID started, there has been this surge of new, younger knitters, a huge
Yeah.
surge. So if I go back and a lot of women my age, we knit when we were very, very young. But when we got
Mhm.
married and we had children, and I think this is a story of a lot of women that are in their 40s, their 50s, and their 60s, there was a big chunk, a big period of time that they didn't knit at all. And that
Mhm.
was because they had begun to raise their children and they just felt that there wasn't enough time to be knitting and raising their children and making a home, because those are the young years. Those were the young years when you had your first home, you were newlyweds, first baby. We all remember that, right?
Well, I think too that you're just too tired.
I had three
you know,
babies.
like
I was exhausted.
well, that's what they say. Like you want to nap when the baby's napping and those kind of things. And it's true. Like I remember, I didn't do a ton of knitting when the kids were little because you were just
Hmm.
too tired and you
Hmm.
honestly just wanted to veg
Yes.
or go to bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where you see the resurgence over the last years where a woman my age went back in. So,
Yeah.
although they may be in their 50s, they may have 15 years experience knitting, they may have 20, 25, but there is usually a point in their lives where they hadn't been knitting, and that was usually the starting off of
Mhm.
having them babies and nesting and making a home all pretty and nice. And yes, exactly. So that is one reason or one cause of why some have knitting or crochet mojo, how they've lost it. Another one is
Mhm.
moving.
Oh, really?
Moving, yes. Moving is another cause when people have to move and pack up their house.
Yeah.
They pack everything away because they say that moving is like a death unto itself. And
Yeah.
when you move and you pack everything away, you get into this where you lose your knitting or your crochet mojo because you're under a lot of stress, whether that's you've bought a new home, getting your mortgage and your financing, selling your other one, another apartment, yada, yada,
Mhm.
yada, and then the stress. So that is another top one. Moving is one of the causes of losing your knit mojo.
Yeah. I would say having too many projects. Overwhelm.
Overwhelm.
Yeah.
I
Ooh.
researched this. I really did. I really got into it. So
Yeah.
you're right there because they say it was a poll that I was reading is that usually around Christmas time, people
Mhm.
people gift knitters
Mhm.
are doing so much of the same thing. Or in January, they make a decision that they are going to do 12 pairs of socks for the year. So they get on doing sock after sock after sock after sock after sock, and then they're just exhausted of socks. So
Mhm.
they've got too much. They've done, and it usually happens around Christmas and January, and then they lose their knitting or crochet mojo. And it's usually hectic knitting, a lot of pressure due to deadlines, which usually is Christmas time, gift knitting.
Mhm.
Not like what I've been taught by my friends here at Sweet Yarns is just, you know what, if you don't get it done, shove the skein in the box with the needles and start knitting it when they open it. Best advice I ever got, although I didn't
Yeah.
get the baby surprise jacket done yet, but I'm getting close. So,
Yeah.
okay, next one. Does anyone have any ideas of the causes, other causes? Come on, comments. Okay. Please help us out here. Okay, another one is summer vacation.
Yeah.
Uh,
Holidays always do that.
yes, a lot of people lose their knitting or crochet mojo during summer vacation. Um, can you guess why?
Change in routine.
Change in routine. The
And
children.
also, I think just different interests. Like I know a lot of my customers also like to do things like gardening.
Mhm.
And so when the hot weather or warmer weather returns, then they're out busy doing crafting stuff or
Yes,
like gardening stuff instead of knitting. So, I mean, it's partially about balance, I would say. But
yes. And then you get the diehards, right? Leah,
yeah,
she takes her knitting on summer vacation, and we do have a lot of our knitting friends do take them on travels with them, because
yeah,
that is another cause. Travel is another reason why people lose their knitting mojo. They go on vacation or they go and see people and they come back and they have to get back into the grind of living every day, and the
yeah,
first thing that they put down is the stuff that they were working on. So sometimes that may not be a cause for a long hiatus from their knitting, but it does cause a delay.
yeah,
Okay, another one, sickness, whether
yeah,
it's themselves, whether it's a family member. So illness can take away or be another cause of losing your knit mojo.
hmm,
I do know a lot of people that will go and knit by family bedsides.
yeah.
Bring a casserole, bring your knits.
I've taken my knitting with me to family dinners.
Yes, yes.
Yep.
I think I do it too. Anyone
Yeah,
else? Who else takes their knitting or their crochet to family dinner? For me, it's
I
easy.
think it's fun.
What's that?
I always think it's fun. Sit
Well,
around and knit. I've done it poolside. I've done it at the lake. Yeah,
just
in the
enjoy
car.
in the car. Yeah.
The
What?
only place I didn't take my knitting with me would have been to Cuba on the plane and back. I didn't bother to bring my knitting that time because we
Oh,
would have
you.
been too busy doing other things too. But I
Oh,
wasn't obsessed so much at that point.
okay. Another number one cause in this poll of knitters
Mm-hmm.
for what would cause it is home improvements. When people are doing home improvements to their house,
Yeah.
that's another reason why they lose their knitting mojo, because they kind of get overwhelmed with other projects and planning. And they just do not have the time to plan or mentally inject themselves into their knitting or fiber makes.
Yeah.
Anyone have any thoughts of that? Let me see what else. Summer vacation. Exhaustion. Exhaustion is a cause. Sometimes life just gets way too hectic and you get exhausted, and that's it. You put down your makes, and that is a cause for losing your knitting mojo. And the number one place marker for why people lose their knitting mojo or crochet mojo, can you guess?
Okay.
Because they don't have the experience to finish the pattern that they're working on.
Ah! Okay, I have the solution to that always.
Okay.
Go to Sweet Yarns and get help from me.
Yeah. Yes. And if you get stuck, she'll just knit it for you.
No, I will not.
But that is the number one. Let's talk about that. Number one, you know how many times, and I do it myself, regardless of how many years I've been knitting or crocheting, because I'm always trying to advance. I'm always
Right.
trying to do something a little bit different. And then I still have those makes that I do that are just, thoughtless or mindless, the mindless ones that you need in between those very, huge
All
pattern.
I'm doing is knitting around and around.
Exactly, exactly. But they say that knitters and crocheters, when they can't figure something out, the inexperience of the pattern that they're working on,
Mm-hmm.
that's when they will lose their knitting mojo, their knitting or crochet mojo, because they put it aside and they start to feel that they can't do it, which is
Or
never.
even that, yeah, because they can't do that one thing that they kind of give it up completely.
Yes, yes. But that is the number one reason, other than like depression, like we can go with the medical part of it. If you're
Right.
in depression, there is nothing that is going to make you happy at that point, because
True.
you're in that space. But that is the number one reason. So
Hmm.
while we have the number one reason, what we need to know is where did we go? My favorite part,
That's
the
curious.
cure, right? I mean,
Yeah.
let's face it. If you have lost your knitting mojo or crochet, it's so hard. And I have to say that now, because following on YouTube, you have knitters and you have crocheters and you have everybody that does all of it. But we still always use the term knitting, although we do mean crochet as well, or covering fiber arts, period. And it's so
Yeah.
hard to keep sticking to one line that
It's
covers.
hard to, well, because most people just say like knit night or whatever. Like if
Yeah.
you if you wanted to look up what we're talking about today and do your own research, you would actually look up knitting mojo, not just mojo.
Yeah. Not just mojo.
But
No.
people have talked about it before, but it tends to be related to knitting. I don't know why. It's
Mm-hmm.
just the way it goes.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, Yeah, and then it's just hard to come up with the correct term to be fiber inclusive all the time.
Yeah, well,
That's what we're trying to be. Not just knitters, but crocheting as well.
and you can't go to somebody and say, I sit at home and do my fiber arts.
It just
have,
doesn't sound right, does it? But
yeah,
that's what we are doing.
they have no idea what you're talking to. It just doesn't sound so, you know, so historically great. I don't.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so we asked the question, have you ever lost your knitting or crochet mojo? Have you?
yes, I did actually recently, within the last um 2.5 years. From
Yeah.
2017, when you all met me at Sweet Yarns. I was there for, I think, about 6 months, 7 months. And
Hmm.
then with my son, I had to go back and forth between Southern Ontario and Sudbury. And
Hmm.
so I was all the time traveling. Now, I did have a hat in my car. Remember, that was the thermal cap.
Oh,
I,
yeah.
I had it in, and it took me 3 years to do that. But I did have a knitting bag with me. But the thing was, is that I had put everything was in storage. So I was
Yeah.
just traveling in my car, traveling back and forth. So yeah, that is the cause. You know, the cause was my child had to go undergo open heart surgery. He was
Wow.
sick. And sometimes you have to put away the things that, soothe you to deal with, family illness.
Well, I guess there was other stress there as well. Like sometimes it's just too hard to follow a pattern. It's too hard to make a decision on what to knit or crochet because we were so overwhelmed with everything else that was going
Yeah.
on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just get in the car and drive. Drive up,
Yeah.
drive down, drive up, drive down. So, cures. I had to sit down for a while and really think about different cures. And I read quite a few. And um, number, what way? Okay, starting at the smallest cure was selecting small patterns. So you start to lose your knitting mojo, right? Stop doing the big patterns for a while. Stop doing the cardigans, the full garments, and start with something
Hmm.
small and mindless. Some vanilla knitting. And if you haven't done socks, don't start them. Another one they're saying is setting a time to knit or crochet each day,
Yeah,
or
adding it into your routine,
add
daily schedule.
your routine, yes. Now, when they're talking about that, adding it into your routine, it doesn't have to be sit down and knit for 5 hours. They're saying sit down and knit for 5 minutes. Just
Mhm.
add a couple rows, like just do 2 or 3 rows. That's where the temperature blanket is really good. That would be a good pattern. I know it's a big project, but that would be something good for somebody who has suffered knitting mojo because you're only knitting 1 row per night.
Yeah,
So
one row a day.
a day, yes. So it would only
Yeah.
take you 10 minutes. So that's it. They're saying 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, just on one of those crafting times, and you should
Mhm.
be good as gold. That should get you in there. The next one they said was you were right on the button was visit your local yarn shop. Yes. And they said because going into a yarn shop and seeing all the pretty colors on the walls and different fibers can mentally stimulate you to get
Well,
back
and
craft.
for example, like a shop like mine, I have a lot of samples,
Yes.
which means you can look at those and kind of get inspired by those as well. It doesn't, if you're not looking, if
Hmm.
you're not surrounded by um, encouragement and ideas, then you're not going to get out of this knitting funk,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yes. And at least if your shop has a lot of samples, you can touchy feely them too.
Yeah.
Because there's some, there are some fibers that they just call your name.
Yes.
Oh,
Mine will be
Lea-Ann.
alpaca.
Okay.
Alpaca calls me all the time.
It calls you all the time. It says, Lauren, buy me. Buy me.
Yep.
Exactly. Okay, so and with that, you find a yarn that you haven't worked with before.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we have our favorites, and sometimes it is just nice to try something that you've never done, never felt.
Okay, so then that's why the yarn tasting is so much fun because you get to play with some new yarns that you wouldn't have tried before.
Yes, without the huge
Mhm.
cost.
Exactly.
Yes. So our next tip for the cure is search Ravelry or Etsy for an inspiring pattern. Now, what your inspiring is probably different than mine because I was very inspired by my chicken. I needed an emotional support chicken.
Yes, you did.
I think I'm going to call it Mother Clucker.
Nice.
Or how about Cluck Norris?
Too funny.
Cluck Schwarzenegger. There you go. Alrighty, yes. So, okay. So another way to help yourself get out of the knitting loss of knitting mojo, I was going to say knitting funk, is to sign up for a course at your local
Mhm.
yarn shop, Craftsy, which is online, or there
Mhm.
are other online courses like Domestica. Um, there's one that's in my head and I can't think of it. Uh, a lot of YouTubers pitch it. Anyways,
Uh, okay.
those online courses, that way you can sit
Yeah.
at home, take your course.
I also sell project kits.
There you go. There's
They
another
come
thing.
with they're small projects that you can do and walk you through from start to finish and just
Mhm.
encourage you along.
Yes, with all your videos.
Yeah.
So you're never left alone. There's
Yeah.
someone there to hold your hand. And yeah, and then you can go to the store if you don't live close by. You have a
Yeah.
chat button on your website too, don't you?
Yeah.
There you go. And then you can use the chat or just message her at Sweet Yarns or the designer and the dyer.
Because
And
I answer all the emails.
answers all the emails. Exactly.
Yep.
Okay, so
YouTube comments too.
yeah, well, when I and don't get me wrong, if someone asks a question, I do write her and tell her what my answer is,
Yeah.
if it's directed towards me.
Yeah.
Okay, so another way to get out of this knitting funk is to create a cozy space to knit or crochet in your home.
Ooh, good idea.
Yes. So if you have a nice comfy chair and you've got your favorite Afghan on your chair, a couple baskets, to hold your projects, that is a good way to pull yourself out of a knitting funk, is just having your own little corner, whether
Mhm.
it's, in the main part of the house, whether it's in a sunroom, overlooking the neighborhood, a spare room. Just have that space in your home that is your own cozy space. Another one was make a special routine.
Mhm.
So before you sit down, maybe you've done your housework, you came home from work, you quickly threw the dishes in the dishwasher. You're doing a little bit of dusting, you're pulling some laundry you forgot from the weekend out of the dryer, because that's a normal thing in my life. Uh,
Mine's empty.
yours is empty. I always forget it. I'm always great at getting my laundry in the washing machine, getting out, because I really hate folding. I really do. I really. So anyway, make this special routine. So a bath. After you get those things done, like those little quick things, have a bath or a shower. Buy a new bubble bath or a new shower gel that is like a scent that kind of like calms you and relaxes you, and just use that for that knitting time, going into that knitting time. That's what they're suggesting, so that you have this scent and you can zone in and you can get ready to knit or crochet.
I
Okay.
was gonna suggest grab a glass of wine or have a hot chocolate or something and
Yes, yes,
get
that is
cozy and comfy.
well. Yes. They also say go to your local candle place and get a beautiful scented candle that is
Ooh.
just your knitting, crochet, make candle. And that helps you to relax, and
Mm-hmm.
your brain starts to feel motivated by the smell and starting to knit again.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is start a new series on Netflix.
Or
Or
Prime or whatever.
yes, or if
Borrow
you're
a movie from the library.
there you go. Or if you're not a TV watcher while you knit, then make a new playlist on something like Spotify.
Or an audiobook.
An audio book, yes, and make that as part of the routine. So if it is a Netflix show that you've chose, you've got so many seasons, so many episodes, and that will help wind you into getting back into your mojo. Or
Mhm.
a playlist where you can put on headphones, block out the world around you, and just knit to your favorite singer, like Chris Daltrey is mine. uh I will knit
Nickelback.
anything to him.
Woo!
Yes, Nickelback as well. A gravelly voice. I will knit all the time for either of them. So that is another way. And yes, you're right. A glass of wine, a flavored coffee or a tea, and hot chocolate. That was your
Yeah, favorite beverage.
yes for the cures. The one that I was surprised that didn't come up was going to like a fiber festival or something. You know how there's those things going on throughout the year in different places. I mean, I realize that some states, provinces, and that don't have fiber festivals, but they
Right.
are. They were talking about the possibility of farmers markets, because a lot of
Yeah.
farmers markets, or when they have you have that Christmas uh, crafting
Christmas
market,
market. Yeah.
that sometimes if you just take the time to go there and just take in the sights and the smells and see what other people are crafting, that sometimes that can kickstart you back into your own.
I will say though that the only thing I would be concerned about with a fiber show is that they can be a little overwhelming because there's too many options then.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's why I thought the Christmas one would be good, because then you can go get, like, I'm from Kitchener Waterloo, and we
Mm.
have St. Jacob's Market on Saturdays. So
Yeah.
you go to St. Jacob's Market and you get funnel cakes with lots of whipped cream and strawberries,
Woo.
or you get their apple fritters, where it's big round apple rings dipped in
Ooh, nice.
and deep fried. And yes, that can,
Totally healthy. Well,
I
see,
know.
and then you can knit and work off all those calories you just ate.
At 55 calories for every 30 minutes, I'm in. Like, you don't have to ask me twice. Let me see. Walk around the block, knit. Walk around the block, knit.
Can you walk and knit?
I used to horseback ride and knit. I
Oh
used to
yeah.
have one of oh, what's her name? Bella, oh my goodness, Jezebel Designs.
Hmm.
She used to be on part of our Great Canadian Yarners, my Facebook group back in 2013, 14. And
Yeah.
she had started making those bags, the hanging from the arms, but she had made them in denim, and they're all striped inside. And she sent me a couple, and I used to sit
Cool.
on my horse with my Jezebel bag,
Oh,
and I
nice.
would knit
Yeah.
on horseback. But walking and knitting, no, no,
Yeah.
no.
I have done a little bit, but not a whole lot.
And has it produced good results?
Yeah, fine.
Okay, no, I have enough. I have a hard enough time walking and stepping off curbs and stuff. I get run right into someone. No.
Well, I can't do it anymore because the only time I go to walk is with the dog.
Well, see, that's another thing. You can combine your knits with your animal ownership. I mean, how many times could you go to um, the dog park? Sit on the.
Yeah,
We have some beautiful dog parks up here in Sudbury. There's one
yeah.
out.
I haven't been to any yet.
Oh my goodness, let's get you out there. The one in
Yes.
Valley has a river that
Um,
through it.
I was gonna say we do have a farmers market here in Sudbury, and I
Oh,
know that an alpaca farm usually is there with alpaca yarn.
okay.
But see, that would be a fun thing to do too, is go to the market and get some fresh bread
Oh yes.
or other treats, and yeah, make like a picnic day out of it or something, and yeah,
Yes.
inspire some new knitting.
Yes. Yes. That's a good idea. You know, especially when you get up early in the morning and the bread is fresh and
Who
the
the hell gets up early in the morning?
me.
Not me.
Yeah, well, you
Hey, I got to sleep in till 9 o'clock on Sunday.
did you?
Yeah, Scamp didn't wake me up till 9.
Oh, she's off her routine.
Well, she still likes to get up early, but yeah, she didn't wake me up till 9. She didn't have to go out apparently. Okay, so can we talk about maybe how to prevent getting or losing your knitting or crochet mojo
To keep a healthy relationship
with your knitting?
with your knitting, yes.
Well, I think it would be important to look at what causes you to lose it. Like, what has caused you to learn and lose it in the past?
Mhm.
Like, for example, I know a lot of people get overwhelmed with a big project. Like
Yes.
we had talked about that, like a sweater or something, one of those bigger ones.
Mhm.
And so my suggestion is always to have some other little projects on the go, because I think what happens is we lose the motivation to keep working on the big project because we're not seeing anything completed.
Yes.
And so I've often suggested to customers, especially when they're doing a big project for the first time, have some other small ones lined up or, ready to go so that you have something else. You can take a break from the big project,
Mhm.
accomplish something small, and, like just
Uh-oh.
refresh, thing different. I also think that you can lose your crafting mojo if you're only choosing one type of project.
Yes. Yes.
So, for example, if you're only working on complicated things,
Mhm.
that can be discouraging too. Not just when you get stuck, but just because, oh, I don't feel like working on this now.
You get burnout.
Yeah. But even just like we talked about, Linda actually mentioned that last week. One of
Okay.
our viewers, she said having different projects that go along with your different moods.
Yes, she did. And I thought that was very, very interesting because as I said, I'm I'm very mood oriented.
Yes, but you also have preferred to only work on one project at a time.
Yeah, I am trying it your way. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
my way.
Am I doing any good at it? I cannot say no. I can't say yes neither.
Yeah,
I've
you've got some stuff done.
for January, actually I think I've got 5 projects done so far in February. Yeah.
I think
So,
that's good.
yes. But nothing that I plan to do.
Well, yeah, best laid plans.
I know. So actually when I turn the heel on these socks, as I said, I'll be casting on another pair, but then I've got to jump over to the other baby surprise jacket, which this is what I was trying to say is
Mhm.
after seeing how my size 3, 4-year-old one stretched,
Yeah.
I decided to take the 9-month-old jacket and wet block it, and now it will fit the baby.
Oh, good.
It stretched.
Yeah.
enough. So it is going. So that only leaves me one baby surprise jacket that I have to finish or
Oh,
start. I
that's good.
haven't passed it on yet because this time I got smart since they know about it. I said, can you please measure chests? So I know exactly what I need to, and I will knit it to that because I know with that garter stitch and being that there are no seams to keep structure on it, I
Mhm.
know it's going to stretch. So this way, I think with the baby surprise jacket,
Mhm.
it is almost best to knit it with a very small bit of positive ease and then just let the stretch happen when it's wet blocked. My thoughts, anyways.
Good. I know. Yes. Okay. So back to what Linda said, going with what mood you're in.
Mm-hmm.
I do that all the time.
Do what?
Have projects to match my mood, or
You?
just yeah, not necessarily my mood, but mood being how much I feel like doing.
Okay.
So, for example, I knit all evening generally,
Mm-hmm.
which is like 5 to 6 hours, not 5 to 6 hours straight, but generally that's what I do. But I switch between projects
Mm-hmm.
depending on what time of day it is
Mm-hmm.
and what I feel like. So, for example, after supper, the kids are busy making noise because they're cleaning up the kitchen and doing dishes, and they're, my one will be playing on the computer and talking with a friend,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So I usually just put the TV on, something that I don't mind listening to, and I concentrate on my knitting.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working on something that I need to pay attention to because I have mom ears and I can tune a bunch of stuff out and not hear all that other stuff, and
Right.
I can just focus on my knitting. And then I have stuff that's easier and mindless that I can do while I'm watching a show, like purposely watching a show or a movie with the kids or something like that. And
Mm-hmm.
then I also have projects that are nice and easy that I don't have to pay attention to at all. So
Mm-hmm.
even when I'm tired but still want to keep my hands busy, I don't have to focus. I can just knit.
Just knit that. Well,
Yeah.
Lise Thomas says, I also picked up cross stitch again after 20 years so that I have various crafts to work on. I am then happy to return to my knitting or crochet. That is
Yeah.
that is another great way to bring yourself out of that knitting or
Hmm.
get yourself back into your knitting mojo by taking that break. And that, I mean, that is a healthy way
Yeah.
that you are still doing something because they do say for memory and for dementia patients, Alzheimer's, the memory of knitting, also for
Mhm.
arthritis, keeping your hands nimble as you age. So seeing that other crafts like cross stitch, which is very much that, counting stitches, those things, I picked up, not rug hooking, needle punching. Um,
Yeah.
and I started doing it just so I could use up my scraps. So
Yeah.
that's something I'll take a little break from, but lately it's just been painting.
I know my sister has done that plastic canvas stuff where you
Oh,
stitch
yes.
on that.
Yes.
Something I tried actually and I thought very fun was needle felting.
Yes.
So that's another thing. You're still playing with fiber, but it is totally different because needle felting is using the roving, so the loose fiber, and stabbing it with a with a needle. It is really fun. It doesn't take any skill at all, and you can just keep going and playing until it looks like how you want it to look.
And get your frustrations out. So when he
Yeah.
doesn't pick up milk in the morning for your morning coffee, you go, oi, milk.
Or he's whining because there's no milk for his tea. Stab, stab.
Stab, stab. Hi, Tammy. Nice
Stab.
to see
Yeah,
you.
stuff like that.
That's what I use bread baking for, though.
So yeah, well, we
So,
all have our things that we like.
Kelly, hello, Kelly. Good to see you. Here's Kelly. Sometimes I get stalled when it's time to sew a project together or weave in ends. Otherwise, starting a new project gets me excited to go again. Good one. I like that one.
Okay, I do too. That's good.
Yes.
Something that helps with that though is breaking it down into chunks.
Mm-hmm.
Sewing stuff up, break it down into chunks. So don't leave it there saying, oh, I have to sew it in. Decide to do, I'm going to set a timer on your phone
Mm-hmm.
for like 5 minutes and say, I'm just going to sew parts together till the timer goes off and then go back to working on something else, knit
Yes.
something else.
Yes.
I've done that too for tucking it in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you're doing something like the temperature blanket and you are going to tuck in ends, I suggest tucking them in as you go.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have it left for the ends to do all of the ends at once.
I'm thinking that I'm probably going to do tassels all the way up and down mine.
Well, there's always that solution, but yeah.
But see, now that I have learned how to seam properly on every type of knit that they're like every stitch pattern, I don't find that so much as in like seaming garments together. That doesn't put me off or stop me in my project, but it is weaving in those little bits of ends for, yeah, that drives me crazy.
Well, I think we all have things that we don't like to do. I prefer just to knit. I don't want to have to do seaming and tucking in ends and all those things. And so that's why I try and split up those jobs. But I think that we need to get out of the mindset of just doing, I have to get this done before I can do this. Like I have to finish this project before I cast on this new one. But you know what? If all you've got left is seaming and tucking an end, then tuck in a few ends or do a few stitches, like I said, and then reward yourself with casting on your new thing.
So in
Just make
other
a
words,
point of when you sit down to knit, do that first, and for a limited time, and then, or say I'm going to do, I'm going to tuck in 5 ends, and then I'll get to pick up my knitting.
and that's what Kelly says. She says, I agree. I kind of bribe myself. If I get
Exactly.
X number of ends woven in, then I can knit something else.
Yes, reward yourself, not bribe.
I punish myself. I have to get it done, or else I don't give myself permission. And I just
see, and
want
I'm the
to
opposite.
I say, you're Tammy. Love your chicken. Thank you, Tammy.
It's
It
so
was
cute.
fun. It was the best thing I could have done for myself after all that Christmas knitting. So thank you. Thank you. So yes, no, I punish myself. Again, we go back to that. I get on a project and I gotta do it. And I don't give myself permission. We talked about that last week. And that is a habit that I'm trying to break.
Yeah.
But I get all confused. Like I'm working on something and I'm going, okay, if I just do that, if I just another hour, another 2 hours, then maybe no. If I put 3 hours into it, I could have it done. Maybe 4 hours. So I bribe myself too, just in the wrong way.
Yeah. No, you should reward yourself with getting something done, like doing some seaming, or like depends on how many seams you have. Can you break it down into just one seam at a time? Or I do that with my husband's socks. I don't like knitting socks. So when I have to get a pair done, I always go, okay, I'm gonna sit down and do 5 rounds, and then I can work on something else. Now it's 5 rounds on 2 socks, so technically it's 10.
It's no, you can't do it that way.
Yes, that's how I do it.
That's as bad as you telling me I started my pressed flower shawl all over again.
Oh.
Oh. See how we get along so well?
We do. Okay, do we have any other suggestions for avoiding losing our crafting mojo? I think we covered all the things I've had thought of.
I can't
Does
think of
anyone
it.
else have suggestions?
I'm into suggestions. Throw it out. Start again. No.
Well, okay, that's another thing then. You have
Mm,
to give yourself permission to let things go sometimes.
yes.
If
The
it's
cleaning
not
project.
working, let it go.
Let it go. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
another thing that's helpful I find is cleaning up my crafting supplies.
Um,
Not necessarily doing all at once, but like, well, no, I'm serious. Okay, so I've
I
suggested
don't know.
this
She said
to one of
cleaning.
my
Just
customers
my
a few
mind went
times.
somewhere. Huh?
No, I've suggested this to one of my customers a few times. She
Right.
needs to empty out her bag.
Oh, okay.
She brings the same bag all the time, and I
Right.
don't think she's ever emptied it out since she bought it. It's got
Okay.
tons of pockets, and it is just full of stuff. It's the same thing. Every once in a while, you need to move the chair you knit in because that's
Right.
where all your darning needles and stitch markers are. It's in the
Right.
chair. So every once in a while, you gotta, dump some stuff out, reorganize, go through your shelves, look at what yarn you already have. Maybe there's a new yarn to inspire a new project.
Yes, this is true. Yes. Or go buy yourself some
Yeah,
new
come
project
to the
bags.
yarn shop, see what else is new.
Well, I was thinking a new project bag. That always brings my spirit up.
Yeah.
Like a nice Delicue hat box would really get my knitting spirit up. Next week we will show a picture. If you're not familiar with the Delicue waxed, oh my god, what do they have? They have the mini knapsack. They have hat boxes. The travelers, like a train travelers. Oh yes, I could have the whole set. Forget Louis Vuitton. Give me Delicue. That's
Yeah,
it.
Kelly agrees with me. Tidying and organized helps me get started again.
Look at that. See, as soon as you said tidy and organizing, you lost me.
I just like everything to have a place and everything to be there. So
I just keep moving things around. Like that's my life for the last year.
yes,
Renovations
that's
here,
true.
renovations there, move from here, move from there. So yeah, the tidy and organizing, yeah, I'll get there eventually.
Yep. Okay, I think that's it. We better wrap this up because I'm gonna have kids coming home any minute now.
Well, look at that. So I do have one question. As
Okay.
our followers, how are you enjoying this as a stream rather than as just a YouTube um,
Taped episodes.
taped episode? Do you like it better that you have access to us, or that you can suggest things, or what do you think?
I will say from my end, I like this better.
Yes, I do too. I do too.
It's easier for us to manage right now.
Yes, it
But I
is.
also I do Facebook Lives for the store,
Mm-hmm.
and I do it as much as I don't like being on camera. I do enjoy the interaction with the customers.
Lise likes this format.
Yeah,
Good, good. Yes. Well, we have lots of other fun things that will be coming up in this format. This
yeah.
seems to be my new toy. I am absolutely in love with this streaming. Kelly says it's fun to interact. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And we like interacting with you too.
Mhm.
So if you have any ideas or suggestions of what you would like to see us talk about,
Yeah.
uh, or patterns you would like to, well, hold on one sec, Tammy. We can set a virtual alarm for you. I'll call you just to
Well,
remember to
okay,
watch.
but leading into that then,
Yes.
if you subscribe to our channel and
Hmm.
have the bell turned on, then you will get notifications when we're going live.
Yes. Hmm.
But I also suggest that you set alarm on your phone as a reminder that the designer and the Dyer go live at 1:30.
Yeah. Be there or be square.
Well,
Um,
I have a lot. I have that's one of the fun things about the smartphones is that you can set alarms for whatever you want, just as a reminder. So like I have one to remind me that I have to do the live at 6:15 on Thursdays. It goes off because I'll get busy and not be watching the time. And then all of a sudden, oh yeah, right. Okay, we're doing this now. I have to hurry up and get set up.
Yes.
So then I have an alarm set on my phone to remember to take the turkey out of the freezer and put it in the fridge when it needs to be going in. Stuff like that. I know. But I would forget if I didn't have the alarm set.
I mean, I set an alarm to water my plants each week. You know,
See?
an alarm, it's a doctor's appointment, but yeah, not to, yeah, no.
Well, I get too busy. I have to have alarms posted for everything.
Yeah. No. Don't give me the giggles. Okay, going back there for a minute. What is going to be happening on this platform is I'm just working on it. I was up at 3:30 this morning doing these new layouts. So we will be doing where you'll be able to interact with us and then see a movie at the same time, slideshows. Lauren will be able to do demonstrations down from this. So I'm just doing getting the platform ready and everything where it needs to go. And also to let you all know that next Monday, I will not be participating in the live. I have a surgery next Monday in North Bay. So I have to be out there at 11 a.m. And because it is an oral surgery, even if I got back in time or even tried to on my phone, I'm sure the only words that will come out of my mouth is "I want my mommy," because that's what last time. I want my mommy. I need my mommy.
But there still will be a live because I'm going to be on.
Yes, Lauren is going to do a live, and Lauren is not too sure on a topic. So you know what? If you have a topic that you would like Lauren to touch upon, next Monday might be a good time to do so. Yes.
I'll come up with something, but yes, if you have ideas, feel free to send them to me.
Yes.
You can just message me at the store or email the designer in the Dyer at gmail.com and I will get those.
Kelly, I love you. Do you want to come and talk with me? I get so lonely up here. I'm not able to drive for a little while, so I'm always like, come, I need friends. Come with me. I'll make you cake.
Yay!
Thank you, Callie. God bless you. Mm-hmm.
All right, so we sign off then?
I think it's time to sign off. It's all right. So
thank you for joining us today. We had a great time chatting with you, all that were here live. And for those watching later, we hope you enjoyed it too. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and make sure that the bell is turned on so you get a notification when we go live again or post a video. And make sure to follow us on social media and Ravelry as well by clicking the link in the description box below. Exactly. I will be adding in show notes later, and that'll be there later too. All right, so then until next time, do you remember?
No.
Have a fiber-filled day.
Have a fiber-filled day. Blessings, everyone.
Bye. Bye.